And it turned out that the killer was Canadian. Said no urban legend ever. So we've all heard an urban legend at some point in our lives, and if you notice, they either always sound far-fetched or exaggerated. But these stories are designed that way for a reason, and usually that reason is to scare the crap out of the person that you're telling it to. But what happens if the story isn't just a story? What if it really happened? Well, as it turns out, some of the most well-known urban legends aren't legends at all, so I gathered up the most disturbing ones to share with you guys. So here they are, 10 creepy urban legends that turned out to be true. Number 1 is the body in the wall. This urban legend says that while renovating a home, a construction worker knocks down a wall only to find a bare-boned skeleton staring back at him. Well, in 2011, while renovating the second floor of the Abe National Bank in Louisiana, workers discovered the bones of Joseph Schneider, who had been missing for 27 years. It's believed that he got stuck in the chimney while attempting to break into the same bank all the way back in 1984. Did I mention that the police were already looking for him for stealing a car? I guess you could say he's got some skeletons in his closet. Or at least in his chimney. Number 2 is the old woman buried alive. This urban legend is about an old woman that's buried after being declared dead, after which the body is exhumed only for the family to find scratch marks on top of the coffin lid, among other signs of attempted escape. Well, as it turns out, premature burials were actually pretty common in the 19th century. In fact, there were over 200 documented cases of people being buried alive around that time. Now, before you're like, well damn, how can that be? Keep in mind that this was during a time when the medical profession wasn't exactly a science. I say that we should just be thankful that we're lucky enough that they have ways today of telling whether or not grandma is in a deep sleep or whether she's ready to become a root inspector. Number 3 is the quietly dead guy. As the story of this urban legend goes, a guy is passed out on a bus and everybody leaves him alone, assuming that he is sleeping as the bus makes its rounds, only for the driver to check his body at the end of his shift to find out that he was dead. Well, believe it or not, the real story is a lot worse. In 2011, Robert Young and Mark Rubinson arrived at their friend Jeffrey Jarrett's house, only to find him passed out, so they decided to load him into a car and go out partying at bars for the night. The only problem was he was dead in the back seat the entire time. They claimed that they thought he was just passed out drunk, but that doesn't explain why they used his money and credit cards. You know, you should never commit a crime, but if you do, I'm just saying you shouldn't base your entire plan off the movie Weekend at Bernie's. Propping your dead friend up like he's alive is not exactly an airtight plan. Number 4 is brain bugs. This one just This incredibly creepy urban legend is about a person that goes to bed and wakes up with a pain in their ear that gets progressively worse, only to find out that the pain is caused by bugs that have nested deep inside their skull. Well, yep. It happened. In 2013, a 27-year-old woman named Rochelle Harris returned home after a vacation to Peru, after which she started hearing scratching noises inside her own head. She started experiencing pain and decided to go to the doctor after a fly flew out of her ear. The diagnosis? A family of 8 flesh-eating maggots had nested deep inside her ear canal. Oh god! I don't know how this happened, but I'm honestly so freaked out by this that if I ever have to go to Peru, I'm wearing earmuffs all the time. I don't care how crazy I look on the beach, whatever. I'll just say that's how we do it in Canada. F it. Number 5 is calls from the dead. This urban legend is about a person that gets multiple phone calls from a family member only to find out later that they were dead when the phone calls took place. Well, this actually happened back in September 12th of 2008 when a train crashed, killing 25 people, one of them being Charles Peck. Family members reported missed phone calls which had came from Charles' cell phone that had called several of them a total of 35 times, all of which occurred after he died. Of course, many of his family members believe that he was trying to get a hold of everyone desperately to say that he loves them, but how do they know that? As far as they know, he could have been calling desperately to get someone to clear his browsing history off his computer. You don't know what kind of freaky shit that guy was into. Number 6 is creatures in your toilet. This one will pucker your butthole. This urban legend is about a man that gets out of bed half asleep in the middle of the night and walks to the washroom to do his business, only to get bit by a giant rat right in the bum. Well, sorry to say, but in 2007 in Portland, Oregon, a man named Ian Meyer did just that. A rat had actually come up through the sewer system and got trapped in his toilet bowl. He then tried to flush it, which only pissed it off even more. Eventually he caught it, but oh my god. I almost feel bad telling you guys about this because it's probably gonna make you paranoid enough that next time you get out of bed in the middle of the night to go hang a rat, you're probably gonna check to see if the toilet already provided you with one. Number 7 is the girl in the shadows. This urban legend is about a man that always felt watched in the shadows of his own home, only to find out years later that someone had been living in his attic the entire time. Well, a version of this story did occur because back in 2008, a Japanese man that was living by himself started noticing that food was disappearing and things were being being displaced. Well, after setting up a camera, he discovered that a homeless woman had been living in his cupboard for an entire year, sneaking out to steal food and even take showers. Possibly the most disturbing thing is that when he watched the tape back, she was only a few feet away in that very cupboard. I would literally be like, oh, forgot some milk, I'm gonna just go run out and grab some and just never come back. As far as I'm concerned, the girl from The Grudge can keep the damn place. I'm Audi 5000. Number 8 is the Killer Policeman. This urban legend is about a cop that knocks on somebody's door to tell them that there's a murderer on the loose, and when they let him inside, he's the murderer and he chops him up. Well, a similar situation happened back in 1974 when a woman named Carol Durant was approached in a bookstore by a police officer, except that police officer was infamous serial killer Ted Bundy. He told her that somebody tried to break into her car, so she went with him, but she caught on after he tried to handcuff her. Lady, you were able to get away from Ted Bundy. You could not be any luckier. If I were you, I would go out and purchase all kinds of lottery tickets because you could have just as easily ended up as a fine skin suit. It's just skin, Steven. Number 9 is don't drink the water. The story of this urban legend is about how a person moves into a new home to discover that the water coming out of the tap and shower head is a weird dark black color, only to later discover that that's the remains of a liquefied dead body. Well, just last year in 2013, the Hotel Cecil in LA had this exact problem. They discovered a liquefying dead body in one of their water tanks, and what's more disturbing is that that water was being distributed to the entire hotel through the taps and shower systems. It turned out that it was the body of a Canadian student, but still nobody knows how he got in there. Okay, this one's pretty gross, but it would make for a pretty compelling Brita water filter commercial. Brita water filters filters out bacteria, harmful chemicals, and the liquefied remains of your dead neighbor. Buy now! And number 10, kidney thieves and ice baths. By far one of the most famous urban legends out there is the story about the guy that gets kidnapped and drugged only to wake up in a bathtub full of ice with scars where his kidneys used to be. Well, disturbingly, this actually happened minus the ice part. In 2008, Indian construction worker Muhammad Salim was told that he was hired for a new job, except that when he arrived, he was drugged and knocked out, only to later wake up on a steel table with his kidneys gone. But what's most disturbing is this is not an isolated incident. The illegal organ market is very real and very lucrative in many parts of the world, from China to Brazil to Egypt. So next time you're traveling, I'm just saying, be very careful, because if you're in Eastern Europe, someone might be eyeing you down like you're a ticket to a new car. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I gave you a few nightmares. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to add me to the Book of Faces or Twitter, the links to those will be in the description along with all my other social networking sites. And other than that, I will see y'all next Saturday. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching my new video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to click the big red subscribe button below to subscribe to my channel. I release a new video every Saturday. And while you're at it, maybe click the like button, favorite, share this on Facebook, whatever you want. It's all very appreciated. And other than that, I really hope that you check the toilet bowl next time you go to hang a rat in the middle of the night, because I'd hate to see you get bit in the bum by a rat. It'd be like the toilet giving you something instead of the other way around. Okay, that's gross. Goodbye now.